Hello and good evening, everyone. This is Theresa Webb. Looks like we have Danny and Rolindria on the line or on the call.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Are either one of you new today? Is this your first time doing ECC11 or vibrato?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm just going to give it a few minutes to see if some others hop on. It won't be a long time, trust me, because I don't believe in making people wait, but just giving it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. And it looks like people are hopping on right now. So good evening. This is the ECC11 Strategy Training Work Group. I'm Theresa Webb. If in fact you are new to vibrato or new to ECC11 strategy, if you'd please put a 111 in the chat. Hey, Dr. Nikki.
Good evening.
If anyone is new to ECC11 or vibrato, please put a 111 in the chat. I'd like to know who's here this evening. Okay, Fox, you're new. Perfect. Thank you for providing me that information. Anyone else new to ECC11 or vibrato? Okay, great. Rowan Sam. Okay, awesome. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome. You know, usually I just start out by giving a little bit of information about myself. You know, I've been a student of Dr. Kathy's for 2 years now, and she's the only educator that I've followed. You know that she is the creator of the ECC11 strategy. Stephen Julio, who is the program analyst, just took her information and integrated it into the Webb Analyzer, and that's how we have the ECC11 strategy on the Webb Analyzer. I find that I've stayed with Dr. Kathy all this time because of the fact that she took something that was complex for me and made it simple for me to understand, follow, and make money. And that's what's important, making money. So with that being said, what we're going to do is I just want to put in the chat for those that are new. When I initially start trading, one of the first things I do, which I've already done, is I go to forexfactory.com and I take a look to see if there's any news items that will, there's no space between Forex and Factory. But I go there to see if there's any red folders or orange folders. Both of those folders could impact the market and move it. And that's what you're looking for, whether it's going to move it positively or negatively. So that's one of the first things that I do, and I've already done that, and there's no news items for this evening. And then I always go to finviz.com, and I take a look at the strengths of the pairs to see which pairs are the pairs that want to actually that I want to actually trade. I'm looking for the strongest ones to trade for the period of time in which I'm trading. So those are two websites that you can, you know, take a look at and see if it's something that works for you. Let me see if I need to mute out anyone. Okay, this is a session. I just want everybody to know this is a session, whereas nobody gets left behind. So, you know, I don't know everything, but I know enough to make money. So if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt anytime, either in the chat or unmute yourself and get your questions answered, okay? One of the first things I'd like to do is, this thing is driving me crazy. What I'm going to do is start with the settings. I'm really trying to get rid of this. There it is. Okay. We're going for the new folks. We're going to go over the settings as well as the indicators. First of all, let me look to see if we have anything, any alerts, and it looks like we have an alert, which is a potential sale on USD CHF. So what I'm going to do is just go through what I do when I initially get an alert, and then we'll go through the settings and the indicators. And one of the first things I do, of course, is look to see if in fact the alert came within the first 5 minutes. And I trade the M15 and above because the algorithm is set for 10 pips. So the first thing I do is click on the actual pair so that the market comes up. And as you can see, it is USD CHF and it is a sale. And then I look to see if it's within the first 5 minutes, which this one is. And one of the first things I do is look to see if the red line is below the blue line. And in this situation, the red line is actually above the blue line. So at this point, this is not, let me check a little bit closer. Interesting enough, I can't see it. It is behind the actual candles. So if I can't see it, I don't do anything with it. Yeah, it's behind the candles. So if I can't see it, I don't touch it, all right? Because it's too many trades in the run of a day. Now this is a very slow time because this is the Tokyo session and there's not a lot of alerts during this session. But if you're trading London or New York, there's just so many alerts during that period of time. I'm not going to, wait on the candles to see, where the red line and the blue line is located. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next trade. For those people that are new, if you're new to Vibrata, if this is the first time you've pulled it up, if you could just follow my cursor today, at the bottom where the strategy is, oftentimes it will not show Dr. Kathy Kirkland's strategy. So if you need to change it to her strategy, just click on, whatever strategy is there, and that will take you to the Web Analyzer settings. And as you can see, if you just scroll down to pick a strategy, and then you'll see a drop-down box. Just click on it. The first one is Dr. Kathy's ECC11 strategy. Click on that. Save for mobile Safari desktop. Click on that. And then scroll down to turn cha-ching on off, and you want to turn it on. Then you will scroll up to save settings and reload. And you should have Dr. Kathy's strategy on your chart as such. Then just to go over to the time frames is how we trade. Our trades are based on time frames. So for the M5 time frame, the way the algorithm is set, that if you take an alert, a trade idea from the M5 time frame, the algorithm is set for you to only get 3 to 5 pips. And if that's okay for you, keep it checked. But for me, I do not. I'm looking for 10 pips. Any alert for the M15 and above, you can get 10 pips from that trade idea. So I'm deselecting it, but just like I said, if 3 to 5 is good for you, go ahead and keep it checked. All this means is that, like, say for instance, for the 5 or the 15 or above, all it means is that these candles here represent like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, or what have you. The red candles, all that means is that price is selling. The blue-green candles, it means that price is buying. When you look under the time frames, you'll find bar, a red bar to the left of the alert. That just means that that particular trade idea is a sale. And as you can see for USD CHF, it says potential sale. It tells the time frame. One of the first things I look at, as I said before, is the time that has passed. If in fact you see a bar on the side that is a bluish green, that means that trade idea is a buy. Looking to the left of the sidebars, you'll see trade ideas. LP stands for London Payout. So if you don't have the London Payout, I highly encourage you to get it because Dr. Kathy calls out pending trades on indices every evening at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I highly recommend that you take advantage of those. You have to have the London Payout, get those pending trade alerts. And the London Payout is only an extra $10 and you're going to make more than $10 every night. So it's well worth your money. And I also want you to know that if in fact you are trading the indices, those pending trades that she gives out, you want to use a 0.01 lot size as well. So you're literally making money in your sleep because 9 times out of 10, the trades will have taken profit before you even wake up in the morning for her sessions when she has her 3 o'clock sessions. So if you click on London Payout, this is where you will find the trade ideas that Dr. Kathy as well as Kevin Serrano puts in the London Payout. Kevin, he usually does the GBP pairs as well as the, I think he does gold as well. And he usually goes for more than 10 pips. His trades will be for more than 10 pips. It'll probably be around maybe 30 pips or more. And then Dr. K, she'll put, not just indices in here, but Forex pairs where she sees some trade ideas during the day. She'll list those in the London Payout as well. So I'm going to close that. And then there's 4 buttons at the bottom of the trade alerts. The first one, you have to click that button in order to get the trade ideas for Forex pairs. The second one, trade ideas for cryptocurrency. The third one is trade ideas for indices. That's your US 30, JPN 225, etc., GER 30. And then the fourth one is for metals. Okay. Is there a question? Any questions so far?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Is Vibrator only on desktop or can it be used on mobile?
You can use it on your mobile. You get the alerts on your mobile. You can pull up this entire screen on your mobile.
The reason why I asked, because I was trying to load it on my desktop today and I couldn't get the full picture. At one time I just got the buy section, and then another time I just got the chart section.
Well, the one thing I can suggest that anytime you're having some problems with the vibrata and you're not getting the full capacity of it, my recommendation is there is a Facebook page for vibrata. It's a group Facebook page. And all you have to do is just put your concerns in there and it'll get to Stephen Hooley and he'll address them. Or you can maybe send him a direct message through, when I send him a direct message, I think it's through Facebook. I'm his Facebook friend. And I send him a direct message through Facebook. It's best to give him your identification number so that he knows that you're a member. And yeah, he really does correct things relatively quick. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
This is my second night with you. I didn't meet with you last night, but and I'm trying not to get ahead, but I found out today. For a long time I didn't understand between a sell and buy stop, and I finally was able to get on Discord, and someone told me how to do it, and I was kind of excited because I was always dumbfounded whenever someone says sell stop or buy stop, and all I see on my phone is market execution.
Oh,
All I had to do was click on the market execution, and I would have got the sell and buy stop.
yes, the pending trades pop up. Yes. Well, I'm glad you're excited about that.
I am.
Awesome. Okay. So moving right along, we're going to go to the settings. And the ECC11 strategy settings, the indicator is the Ichimoku cloud. And oftentimes, if you're new to Vibrata, your setting numbers will be 92652. So if that's the case, you just want to go to, I'm looking for the settings. Where is it? There it is. If you see this little wheel, this is your settings. Just click on it. Click on inputs. Your conversion line needs to be 6. This is a scalping strategy because the way the algorithm is set for the ECC11, is for 10 pips. So the settings are 6, 13, baseline is 13, lagging span is 26, and displacement is 13. Go to defaults, save as default, go to style. Oftentimes what you'll find is that the baseline and the conversion line colors are switched. So if your conversion line is blue, you want to change it to red. Just click on the box, change the color to red, and then actually you may want to thicken your line so that it's easily recognizable. So you can change the thickness at the bottom. Your baseline is blue. Click on the box, and you may want to thicken your blue line as well. And then lagging span is green. However, I did make my lagging span line relatively thick. You want to go to defaults, save as defaults, and then click OK. And you should have the settings for the ECC11 strategy. All right. I'll just go ahead and use this example right here. Ichimoku is a Japanese term. I think it's Ichimoku Kinko or something like that. But anyway, it's a Japanese term for one glance. In other words, you can take a look at the cloud, and this purple shaded area is the cloud. You can take a look at the cloud and tell what the trend is for this particular pair. And as you can see, price has been selling, and now it is leveling off. It's consolidating right now because the cloud is going sideways. I'm sure that you have completed the Academy Series 100 through 400, and they talked about support and resistance. Well, these are, the red line, the red outer line, and the green outer line. That's your support and resistance lines. Your 3 indicators, this green line is the Chiku span. Some educators refer to it as the lagging span. Dr. K refers to it as the money line, and the money line is everything. It is the first indication of which way price is going. And the candle actually, if you pay attention to it, the candle will actually follow the money line. The Tenkan-sen, the red line right here, this is the Tenkan-sen. And we refer to it as a signal line. Oftentimes it's giving you the signal what the candle's going to do. And oftentimes you'll see it like pushing a candle up, pushing it sideways, or maybe pushing it down. The blue line is your stop loss line. If in fact you don't know how to set your stop loss, well then all you have to do is just take your crosshair and put it at the end of the blue line. And like for this particular pair, the stop loss would be 0.96588. If you look to the right, you'll see the price. That's one option of a stop loss. Another option, I've heard Dr. Kathy say for 10 pips, 30 pips is a good stop loss, even though she doesn't give us stop loss, but she'll say 30 pips is a good stop loss for 10. And then another option that's available to you if you don't know how to set a stop loss is babypips.com. I think it asks several questions. One is what your capital is, what your risk is, and then it'll calculate what your lot size would be and what your cost would be if in fact the market went in a different direction. So if in fact, I do recommend everyone use a stop loss in the beginning. I don't use one, but I do recommend that at least your experience and use a stop loss in the very beginning. The ECC11 strategy is based on the red line cross of the blue line. So anytime the red line is above the blue line, price is buying. If the red line is below the blue line, price is selling. If the red line is above the blue line, above the cloud, that is an indication of a strong buy. If the red line is below the blue line, underneath the cloud, that is an indication of a strong sell. Anytime you catch the red line crossing the blue line like it did right here, you see that cross? Make sure that it crosses. It's a clear cross. You can get 10 pips from it. Sometimes I've seen it cross and then go back over. So just make sure it is a clean cross. And when that happens, of course, you'll get 10 pips from that move. I want to see if I can give you a good example before I get into the money line. I want to see if I can show you a good example. Of the money line. Here's one. Okay, so the way I use the money line is that sometimes I need to know whether or not I'm going to be able to get 10 pips out of the trade. Like in this, I'll use this one as an example. Here's a red line below the blue line. It looks like, let me see. Yeah, the red line is below the blue line. So I may just pull up this chart and I want to know how many pips am I going to get out of this sale. Red line is below the blue line. Price is below the cloud. So I may want to know how many pips I'm going to get. So what I'm going to do is look to the left below price to see where my next lowest low will be. And in actuality, price is right here. This is my next low right here. Once price gets here, it looks like it's going to go back up. So I would either not take the trade or I will wait to see what price does. I will wait to see if it goes up or if it continues to sell. And all I do is look to the left, to the immediate left for my next low, for my next lowest low. And then I apply that information to the right. Okay, so I know the price is going to come down a little bit and then it's going to go up. But just like I said, when it's close like this, I'm going to wait to see if, in fact, price is going to continue to go down or if it's going to go up. Oftentimes, I'm going to count to see how many times price has been here and that'll give me an idea as to what it's going to do.
What would have made your mind up to say that would have been a good buy?
No, did I say buy? I meant to say sell.
Sell.
Yeah, I meant to say sell. I apologize.
Okay, I see where the X is at. I see where the money line is pointing down. But you said you was gonna go to your left to your lower low. And what are you trying to find out right there?
I'm trying to find my low, where my next lowest low will be.
Okay, I see that.
And
Now,
you,
what decision you gonna make now?
well, what I'm saying is that I would look to see what my next lowest low is, and this would be my next lowest low. That's not going to give me 10 pips because it looks like price is going to go up. So all I'm going to do is take the information to the left that I've looked to the left to find and apply it to the right, which means price is going to come down a little bit. It's going to go up. Would I take the trade? No, I wouldn't take the trade. What I would do, because I'm not going to get 10 pips from this trade, I'm going to use my ruler. I'm gonna see how many pips would I get from here to here. And it's not 10 pips. So therefore, I'm gonna wait. You know, I'm gonna first look to see how many minutes I have left on the candle. This is on the hour time frame, isn't it? It needs to be on the 15, actually. I'm on the wrong time frame. Hold on just a sec. Okay, so price is still below the cloud. It is a sale. But price is going up. Okay, this is a buy candle, price is going up, but I know this is a sale. So the question becomes for me, what I would do is see if I can get 10 pips in a pullback. But for new people, I would just recommend wait on the next red candle if you wanted to, or go to the next trade because price is going up. That's what I would do if I was new. That is what I did when I was new.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you're pretty much tracing your steps backwards. Is that how you're doing everything? You're pretty much looking at things from a backwards perspective to determine how to move forward?
Yes, I look to the left to see where price has been, to determine where price is going. Because the market continuously just retraces or repeats itself. You know, nobody's going into the market creating new algorithms for the market. It just constantly repeats itself. So yes, that's exactly what I do. I look for in this situation, I will, if it, you know, and I'm not saying do this because you guys are new, and I recommend I recommend not trading against the indicators and your confirmations. But once you
There are so
do
many
it
times.
enough, once you do it enough, you'll learn how to trade the pullbacks as well. I mean, because really at the 15-minute time frame, that's all you're trading is pullbacks anyway. But you'll learn how to trade it. Once you trade enough, you'll learn how to trade it whether price is going up or down. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, thank you. I was gonna say there are so many cases that I've run into, like looking on the harmonic scanner, where it looks like what we're looking at right now, where it's like that one blue candle, and then before it there's a whole bunch of red, and so I get shaky on how to move forward. So it's like you're telling me just to wait on the next candle to reappear and kind of confirm what's going on, right?
Yeah, because as you can see, prices, as you can see, you look at the cloud, the cloud is pointing downward, which tells you, and prices below the cloud. So that's telling you this is a strong sale, okay? And then you know that if you see this red line going up, you know that price is pulling back because look, your red line is going straight down. Your blue line is right here. So you know that this is a sale. All right, so you're looking at the timer on your candle. You always look at the timer on your candle. You have 11 seconds left before a new candle appears. And as you can see, this money line is moving towards a downward motion. Now we have a new candle. So now we're going to wait until this candle is fully formed. It's fully formed at 12 minutes. And we're going to see, in actuality, whether or not this is an option for us. You know, like with this, I'm looking to my left, and it appears that my next lowest low could be below price, could be maybe right here. So see, my candle would have, and my money line would have to go below here. And then I look to the left to see where the next lowest low is, and it's right here. So I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't think about getting into anything. Even when I look even further to the left, it's still a very short period. I wouldn't think about doing anything until the price got to about right here, if it got to right there. And even there, that's called consolidation period. So see, it's too much going on in this trade for me. It's just too much going on. When I look to the left, it's just too many things going on. And I probably go to the next trade. Because see, I like to look for clean shots. Clean shots meaning where there's no confusion. Let me see if I can find. This is like a, wait a minute. Let me see if I can find you a clear shot. Like this would be a clear shot over here. No confusion. Whatever, just straight line. That's what I kind of look for, where it's not a lot of congestion. You know, because I'm not trying to work hard. I like simple. You know, I try to keep it as simple as possible. Because just like I said, if you're trading a London session or a New York session, it's too many trades. You know, wait on the next alert.
Can you
Does that make
explain to me the
sense?
time frames?
I'm sorry?
Can you explain to me the time frames?
Yeah, the time frames just mean that each candle represents that time frame. Like we're on the 15-minute time frame. These candles represent 15 minutes.
Right.
And all that's telling you is that, you know, this candle is going to go up and down for about 15 minutes. That's what's going to happen. You know, each one of these candles are going to go up and down for about 15 minutes. And then it's going to change. And just like I said, anytime you're changing 15 minutes and below, you're trading nothing but pullbacks. That's all you're trading. Pullback.
So on another training video, it says, once you get an alert, let's say it's on 15 minutes, that you should go back, what, 2 time frame or 3 time frames to make sure that the lines are pointing in the right direction before you even consider a trade?
Yeah, you do that. We haven't gotten an alert, so I haven't kind of gotten to that point yet. But yeah, you do. You want to go to you want to make sure everything is lined up. As an example, if in fact this was a sale, this candle was red, your next candle is red. Well, it's 11 minutes, but if this was a red candle, I would go to my 5-minute and I would make sure that I had a red candle. I would make sure that my red line was below my blue line. And I do that same thing on the 1-minute. Red candle, red line below my blue line before I took the trade. And I wouldn't even consider doing that until my timer said that I was at 12 minutes because the candle is fully formed. So yeah, you do want to make sure everything lines up.
I am still pretty new to this, but I wanted to ask, what do you suggest? Like, is it better for me as a new trader to be on the 15-minute charts or 5-minute? Like, how do you decipher which one to use?
I always trade because I'm only looking at 10 pips, so I know all I'm trading are pullbacks. I recommend the 15-minute. I recommend I enter all of my trades on the 15-minute time frame. I check the 5-minute and the 1 minute to make sure that they're aligned properly. And that they're aligned just like the 15-minute before I enter. But I look at the 15-minute. I would recommend the 15-minute for new people. You don't need to go any further than that because it can be too confusing. You'll know when to move beyond the 15-minute.
Thank
Okay,
you so
I
much.
understand what you're saying. So what if you get an indicator and it says a potential sale, but it says H1?
Okay, that just means that it's on the 1 hour time frame. Now, say for instance, you like say, let me find an H1. Here's an H1 right here. GB, wait a minute, where'd it go? Here's an AUDJPY. When you click on that pair, it's gonna come up on the 1 minute time frame. Now, I'm still going to, even on the 1 hour, I'm still going to do this. I'm going to, first of all, make sure it occurred within the first 5 minutes. Then I'm going to go to my trend line. I'm going to put in my horizontal line. I'm going to click on the chart. Horizontal line appears. I'm going to go to my settings. And then I'm going to put the called at price in, which is AUDJPY. 69,482. Click OK. Then I'm going to also, I know that AUDJPY is a sale. So I'm going to go again to my trend line, click on my horizontal line, click on the chart, go to settings, and I'm going to subtract 10 from the called at price, which would be 69,382. And that lets me see, as you can see, this is a sale. This is already taking profit, but it lets me see what range I'm looking at. So this is on my hour. I'm still going to go to my 15-minute if I'm an enter. I'm still going to go to my 15-minute. I always do. And I'm going to enter on the 15-minute time frame. And then I'm going to still do the same thing because we're still talking about 10 pips. I'm still going to go back to my 5. I'm still going to go back to my 1. I'm still going to make sure the red line is below the blue line. I'm still going to make sure it's all lined up before I enter into a trade. I'm not going to enter into a trade on a 1 hour, even though the call is a 1 hour call. All that means is that each candle represents 1 hour and the trade may take a little bit longer for it to take profit. You know, it may not take profit in this session.
So it's going to be moving slow probably.
Well, you know, that depends on, there's a lot of factors. I can't, you know, say that it's going to move slow. You know, if you have news or something, it may not move slow. You know, if the market is moving in that particular pair, if the market speeds up, it's going to speed up on the 1 hour too. But
Okay.
I'm just saying, typically, you may not, on the 1 hour time frame, you may not, that particular trade may not take profit until another session. Like say,
Okay.
for instance, if you receive the call in London session, it may not take profit until New York. Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I'm trying not to get too far ahead, but when someone calls out a sales stop and they put down an entry price, that's probably not going to happen for another 30 or 40 minutes. How did he come up with that?
They do trade setups to make that determination. You know, they're not just looking at, like, say, for instance, if they're doing a sales stop. How new are you?
I've been here for about 2.5 months,
Yeah,
but this is my first time. This is my first week with Webb Analyzer.
is it? Okay. Well, the best way I can explain it is that they're doing trade setups. they're looking at where price is and where price is going. You know, like say for instance, oh gosh, how can I explain that? Say for instance, price is, I'm trying to see if I can come up with an example. Okay, say for instance, price is somewhere in here, but they know that prices, say for instance, prices right here, they know that it's going to go into a sale, you know, because they look to the left and they can determine, see how this looks about the same as that.
Yes.
Look to the left, they can determine that price is going to go into a sale. Well, after price gets to a certain point, depending on where they want to put their entrance price, they may put their entrance price right here. And they may not call it until price is up here. And they might say, something like, let's do a sale stop here, entrance price right here. And they may take it to whatever the first take profit is, second take profit. If they put 2 take profits in there, they may just put 1. But they kind of look to the left to see where price is in, depending on where price is, where they're looking at and where price is at that point. Then they're gonna look to see, you know, where price is going. And then that's how they're gonna set their sell stop or buy stop. So they're still looking to the left to see what's going to happen next.
That's way above my pay grade, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Well, yeah, that's why I asked you how how long have you been in? Because you know a lot of people do trade setups just by doing market structure, and I'm not one. I'm too old to draw lines and do all that work. I'm just going to be honest with you, and that's why I like the cloud, because the lines are already here. So all I have to do is just look to the left to tell me where price is going. You know, I can just look at it and I know where price is going. Now, I couldn't in the beginning. In the beginning, when I first got started, all I saw was some red, blue, and green lines and some candles. I
Yep.
had no idea what I was looking at. I saw the cloud, but I still didn't know what it was telling me. But after you've continued to be on the sessions, it took consistency, you know, because I'm on these sessions every day still today with Dr. Kathy, you know, because she may say something where I might have an aha moment and say, oh, okay, because I just believe I'm a student always. So, you know, it takes consistency, and it takes, you know, just paying attention to what she's saying so that you can actually learn it in pieces. I've been to, like, she used to do classes, and I took those classes from her, which were online classes. I mean, I've gone to maybe one of her boot camps, but I really put a lot of effort into learning it. And what I like about the web analyzer is that with this particular platform, you have the ability to really learn the market. It teaches you how to analyze the market. Those questions that you're asking are very good questions. And at some point, you will be able to do that. You will be able to look at this chart and be able to determine where price is going in the future. You will be able to do your own sell stops and buy stops. You will be able to trade independently from this learning from this web analyzer, starting with the red line, crossing the blue line, because that's how I started. Now, it took me 15 months to have the confidence to trade independently. Even though I was calling trades before then, I really didn't have the confidence. And, you know, I wanted her to always say, I wanted Dr. Kathy to always call the trade. You know what I'm saying? But I knew I could call them, but I just didn't have the confidence. Even though I had my confirmations in place, I still just was not sure. It took me 15 months to get the confidence. And that's why I really do, when they say that it takes anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to learn how to trade independently, that is on point. Because I'm sure
Did
you
you
young people, you can do it a lot faster than than I did.
did you start out on the analyzer?
No, that I started from the clouds indicator because it was not integrated into the web analyzer when I started. So I learned from just the MT4 chart with candles on it and adding the Ichimoku cloud to it. That's how I learned. And then I used some other indicators for confirmations as well. But again, when I first started, it was still the red line above the blue line or the red line below the blue line. And I made good money from that.
Well,
So if you can learn that, then you can learn the rest, because I didn't even know anything about the money line when I first started, and I was making good money from the red line crossing the blue line.
I'm learning more from the web analyzer since I had it this week than I learned in the last couple of months, and I was just following trades.
Yeah. And see, what happens is, like, even I can remember when I first started, it took me a while because Dr. Kathy has a rhythm. So I wanted to make sure I knew when she was calling a trade before I went live. So I stayed in demo maybe a couple of weeks before I even went live, because I wanted to make sure I knew when she was calling trade ideas.
I think I did it for a whole month.
Yeah. So, and then once I got her rhythm, because, I did more, I didn't pay attention to the chat and I wasn't asking a lot of questions. I was doing a lot of listening because I needed to understand what was happening. And then once I knew every time she was calling a trade, once I figured out how to do my stop losses, knew how to put my take profits in and everything on my MT4, once I felt comfortable doing that, that's when I went live. And I did something like six trades a day. When I went live, I did
How many?
six trades a day, 5 days a week. And by the end of my first month trading, you're going to have some losses. You're not going to have all wins, even though she has probably the highest accuracy rating, probably in the company. But then I'm biased because she's the only educator I follow, so I really don't know that. But anyway, but 90 to 94%, that is outstanding. And so where was I headed with that conversation? Yeah, at the end of the month, because I started on the 1st of May, and by the end of the month, I had profited. I was only trading 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents a trade. By the end of the month, I think I started trading 50. That last week, I think I started trading 50 cents and $1 a trade. But I had profited $500.
Wow.
When I subtracted my losses from my profits, I had profited $500. And that's when I knew at this point that I was actually multiplying my money. And that's what I've been looking for all my life, a way to multiply my money.
My biggest loss is pullbacks. How do you overcome that?
It takes patience and time to overcome it. I mean, because you have to first realize that you're going to have pullbacks.
I understand that, but when it
Are you over leveraging? Because you have to find out why why is that a struggle for you? Is it because you're trading more than one trade in one account? Is it because you're over leveraging? Because
I think one of my problems is I have one live account.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dr. K says you should have an account for your Forex and an account for your indices.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't.
Well,
So
even if you don't, you still only trade one trade at a time, and you trade it, depending on what your capital is. Say, for instance, your capital is $500. You trade it like it's $250. So when you're getting ready to do your lot size And depending on what your percentage is, it shouldn't be any more than 3% of your capital. You're going to base that on $250 versus the $500. That gives you some room.
But I hear you said trade one trade at a time.
One trade at a time. In other words, you put in a trade in that live account. You wait until that trade takes profit before you put in another trade.
That's my problem.
You got too many trades going at one time.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that too. I've just shortened your learning curve.
Okay.
That's what that is
But
exactly.
but they look so tempting though.
We'll get you another account or do it in demo.
Yes. Okay.
But that'll take care of that for you. And the only people and what happens when people get so concerned about seeing red, it's normally because they've over leveraged. Because once you put in that one trade and you have the correct lot size based on half of your capital, you're not going to be concerned about pullbacks.
I haven't graduated beyond 0.01.
Okay, well, you're not going to be concerned about pullbacks if you just do one trade at a time.
Okay.
You're not going to be concerned at all. I mean, half the time when I'm growing an account and I'm just doing a 01, like when I first start growing an account, I might put $20, $30 in the account. And I start with a 0.01 lot size. Half the time I forget about the trade. Not unless I'm truly on a mission to get that account, to get the balance on that account larger for whatever it is my reasoning is. But sometimes I can easily forget about a trade that I have a 0.01 lot size. So yeah, I mean, it just takes time, it takes learning, it takes patience, because you definitely, you have to have some patience to do this. And if you don't have it, you will get it. Because it's one thing about trading, it will tell you about yourself. Because nobody could have told me that I was a greedy person. But when you start making that money like that, oh, you don't want to stop trading. It's almost like an addiction. And you have to actually, have a talk with yourself. At least I did. I had to have a talk with myself to say, stop. You've got profits. Leave it alone. Because I wanted all the pips. I didn't want some of them. I wanted them all.
I guess I have to be patient with my first million then.
So, it definitely teaches you about yourself. So sometimes you just have to take a look at what you're doing and do things a little bit differently so the outcome is better.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay.
I was encouraged to ask you about the London payout. Could you just talk briefly, like really short about that?
You want me to talk about the London payout?
I was encouraged to ask you about that. Yeah.
In terms of the London payout, I'll just click on it for a second. One of the first things you want to do is check the time in which this trade idea was provided. That's the first thing I looked at. Because like this one for GBP CAD, it looks like at 14:08, that's probably around 2 o'clock that this trade idea was called today, and it was on the hour time frame. So because it was on the hour time frame, you could easily, do the same thing that I did with the other trade ideas, draw your horizontal line to see if the trade had taken profit yet. Like this one is GBP CAD. So let's go in and take a look at it. Okay, and
So
then
pretty much the London payout just makes announcements about different trades that you can make.
yes, that's what it does. It gives you, like, just like I said, Dr. Kathy puts her pending trades on the London payout. Kevin Serrano puts GBP pairs on the London payout, as well as gold. Any trade ideas he sees on gold, he puts that in the London payout. Dr. Kathy, if she sees some Forex pairs, in the run of a day when she's not live, she'll put them in the London payout. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it's for. You get additional trade ideas in addition to the ECC11 trade ideas that come with the Webb analyzer. So that's something that is additional that you get. Does that explain it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any other questions?
So you're on Monday through Thursday every week, right?
Monday through Thursday, yes, 9:30 every week. Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you next Monday then.
Okay, because we just believe that when you can get money into people's hands quickly, when they can see themselves profit, they realize the value in this. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've been investing since I was 17 years old, and I've never seen money multiply like it multiplies with Forex and indices, etc. I've never seen multiply like that, nor have I seen it move as fast as it moves during London session. So that's when I like to trade London session. And as my daughter puts it, she's the one that just really put it in perspective for me. She said the one thing she loves about it is that the money doesn't run out, which is true. The money's always going to be there. And the bottom line is that if you lose the money, you don't have to worry about a loss. That's why I don't understand why people get so upset about a loss. You're going to make it up that day. Because all you're going to do is go back. What does Dr. Kathy say? Go, you know where you lost it. Go get it. If it was a sale, you lost it, no price is buying. Get in the buy and go get your money back. If you don't get it back that day, you're going to get it back the next day plus some. I always get my money back. I'll lose some because of the fact that sometimes I get a little bit too greedy and I'm trying to get every pip, even though I should have learned my lesson by now, but sometimes I had to catch myself. But the bottom line is I'm gonna go back and get it every time.
I'll keep you in my ear then.
I'm sorry.
I said, I'll keep you in my ear.
I'm getting that money back. I'm getting it back. So really, in actuality, I probably put $200 in the market from the very beginning 2 years ago, and I'm still trading off that $200.
Wow.
Yeah, so, it is, we have to tell people about this because, and I could talk about this for hours, but we just need to let people know about this because it gives you greater options. It gives people options. It's their option to decide whether or not they want to do about it, but whether or not they want to do it or not. But they definitely need to know about it because if the banks are going to do this every night with our money, every night, if the stockbrokers are going to do it, if the insurance companies are going to do it, why can't we do it? They're going to give us 0.01% and they making trillions every single day. Well, it's time for us to get some more money back. That's just the way I feel about it. That's the way I see it. I don't care how you slice it and dice it. I want some of my money back.
I do too.
So,
Well said.
I'm just passionate about that.
Ditto, me
I
too.
don't like the idea that the system is bamboozling us every day for years after years, centuries after centuries. I mean, just constantly. And we're not educating our families about this. I'm very passionate about that part of it. We should be teaching our children's children about this. My dad, he started out teaching me about money. He started me investing. He didn't give me a lot of education about it, but it was enough just to pique my interest. So I feel as if my responsibility is just doubled just because of the fact that he had made me start investing at such a young age. So I have a huge responsibility as it relates to my daughter and my grandkids. So, they need to learn it from us. So just like I said, my time is up and I could talk about this for hours, but I'm not going to do that tonight. But yeah, we want you to understand the value that comes with this platform. The fact that you've got wealth strategists, feeding and mentoring and coaching you every day. When I was growing up, I used to have to listen. People wouldn't talk to me about money. My generation didn't talk about money. I had to listen to what other people were doing with their finances through a petition. You know what I'm saying? And then go home and then read about it and do all this research, reading all these books about it, because nobody would talk to me about it. And and people didn't know who was investing and who wasn't. It's just that you overheard those conversations. So, times are different now. And I just think that we just need to do a better job of sharing information with other people so that we don't have to struggle. Because, I've struggled before and the struggle is real. And there's no reason to struggle anymore. So guys, that's my time. I hope you got some value out of this session. Again, don't forget to hop on with Dr. Kathy at 11:30 to get those pending trades tonight. She puts them in the London payout. If she's not live, they're still going, whether she's live or not, they're going to be in the London payout. And I think she's still, they've got the trade-a-thon going on, so she'll be on at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I think she does 2 hours. So yeah, hey, let's make this money. Happy trading. Have a blessed weekend, and see you next week.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, guys. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.